All of our corporate sponsors. We couldn't produce this event without all of them, so many of you are in the audience. Again, we would like to thank you on behalf of HRC in Las Vegas. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce a very close friend of mine. We went to school together. He's a national comedian. He's been on HBO. He cruises around the world, literally, performing on cruise ships. And you can see him, yes, no. And you can see him in many different areas. This is his second year supporting HRC Las Vegas. Please welcome to the stage your MC for this evening, Mr. Tommy Drake.
Oh. Thank you, James. Gwen. James is right. I've been doing stand-up comedy all over the world lately. I signed off the Carnival cruise ship Ecstasy in Cozumel, Mexico a couple days ago so I could be here tonight. I know it's hard to believe. Hosting the HRC Gala, the exact same entertainment that you would get on a low-end Mexican cruise. I am uniquely qualified for this job. I have an interesting professional connection to the LGBT community. For 2 years, I was Cher's opening act on her farewell tour. Which means I'm one of the few people who can actually say I have performed for gayer crowds than this. Earlier this year, I got to do my show in Japan and Korea. I did a tour of Navy bases and performed for some of the US troops overseas. Very interesting. I had never spent much time on military bases. The US military currently has a policy called don't ask, don't tell. After spending time on the base, I think they should change that to don't ask, but you can kind of tell. I'm back here for one reason and one reason only. I do about 300, 350 events, shows, performances a year, and last year, this event was the finest night of entertainment that I got to be part of, and I'm so excited about tonight. And last year did not go off without a hitch, but it was brilliant. At the very last minute, Liza Minnelli was scheduled to appear, and at the very last minute, because she's very busy and very famous, she couldn't make it. Now, normally in that case, they would send out a man dressed as Liza Minnelli. But they couldn't do that because this is one of the few crowds that can tell the difference. Because it is Las Vegas, we got very fortunate. At the last minute, we were able to get celebrity comedian Louis Anderson to come out. Now, if we could just get him to come out. This is what I'm most excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, later tonight, Louis Anderson is going to be here again. This evening. Also this evening, another performance from Cirque du Soleil, this year from the show Zumanity. We have two incredible auction items to auction off. Rich people, that's your time to shine. And we have 3 award recipients. We're going to get the show going right now to present our first award recipient. Here to introduce our Community Hero Award. Please welcome Clark County Commissioner Chris Giunchigliani.
I'm honored to introduce tonight's Community Hero Award recipient, David Parks. His accomplishments, which qualified him for this recognition, are noted in your programs. So instead, I'd like to share some thoughts with you. I had the privilege of both learning and serving with David Parks for 5 of his 6 terms, and I consider him a dear friend. As the first openly gay person in politics, David truly broke that glass ceiling. Through his quiet dignity, statesmanship, innate smarts, kindness, integrity, and work ethic, he calmed most of the naysayers, the intolerant, and the conservatives. He paved the way and gave the LGBT community visibility and derailed many of the intolerant individuals. He made ethics and integrity the cornerstone of his public service. Sadly, with term limits, he can only serve 1 more term. So we now have 1 openly gay person in public office. We need a critical mass to help us shape the policies, the regulations, and yes, our public views. To truly achieve community, all of our rights need to be protected and promoted. So it's time to go out across Nevada, the United States, to recruit, train, and support, financially and otherwise, others in the LGBT community for public office. David did his part. David did his part, but you can honor him and Shelley and Jan tonight best by doing your part for human rights. Run for office or elect someone to office. The straight folks just can't do it anymore by ourselves. So I present to you my dear friend, David Parks, our community hero.
Well, if you look at any of the major legislation dealing with the gay and lesbian community in the state of Nevada, David Parks' name has been on it as the major sponsor.
I think he's a wonderful face for the gay and lesbian community to be out there in this public arena and letting people know that he is as sincere as they are about making Nevada a better place for everyone.
AIDS social services in this community probably wouldn't even exist, and certainly not in the incredibly good form they do if it weren't for Dave Parks. He has nurtured and helped make sure that AFAN, through good and bad, has survived.
I'm very proud of David for everything that he's done, and especially for being out in the open about being gay. And at the legislature, this makes things very hard. There are some people who will attack him, even in testimony. But David rises above it all. He lets it just roll off him, and he moves on.
David should get this award just because, I mean, he's the one that has been there, and he's the behind-the-scenes person, and I'm incredibly glad that HRC is recognizing his efforts.